excited to start your journey of Android application development. Welcome to the first session of Android application development, and that is, I would call it as a setting up the stage for development. Let us see what steps does it include. First step of this entire session is preparing your computer for the installation. I am not physically available with you there, but actually I'll showcase you that what things are required to make your system or your laptop or a desktop ready to start or make you develop Android applications. Second step would be download and actually install the Android Studio integrated development environment. This is popularly acronymed as IDE. I stands for integrated, D stands for development, and E stands for environment. It is a full-fledged software which will help you to create user interface, to debug your applications, and also actually to create APKs which you can actually upload it on a Play Store. Android System Development Kit with Android Studio is actually a free and open source integrated development environment. It was released in December 2014. Then I'll showcase you that how to set up the Android emulator, because every time it won't happen that we will be designing the application and it will be executing on our actual mobiles. We are not dependent on that hardware right now. What we'll be doing is we'll be developing this application, and then we will be seeing it through the emulators, which I'll be showcasing you that how to actually prepare a device emulator. We will then, I'll also showcase you that there might it may happen that there are various issues which arise when you install this Android Studio in your own machine, because it all depends on existing resources of your device, and it always happens that after installation certain issues do arise. If you are fortunate enough or lucky enough, you may not have any issues after installation. Else we will see that we will execute one or design one small application of a hello world, and then we will run on an emulator, and then we will see that whether actually any error arises in your system or not. I won't be able to resolve your issue, but I'll showcase you the path that how to find out if any issues arise, then what are the web resources which you can use to resolve those issues. Then we will see that what is our next pathway to develop applications, and the one very much actually we all are or we would like to know is market deployment. Where would you upload this Android applications? What would be the market share? What would be your share? Whether there is any earning associated with it, or it is like only uploading, and if the studio is free and this environment is free, and that if you develop an app, whether anything would be there in your pocket or not. So let us move to first step. To prepare your computer, you'll have to see that Android SDK compatibility. Android SDK is compatible with Windows Vista, which is either 32-bit or 62-bit, Windows 7, either 32-bit or 64-bit, Windows 8.8X, 32 or 64 or 128-bit is okay, Windows 10, 32, 64 or 128-bit, wonderful, Mac OS X, again which supports Intel architecture, and Linux. 2 GB of minimum RAM is required for all platforms, and I would re-emphasize that RAM is actually these softwares are RAM conscious. RAM, I would say they do require good amount of a RAM, and so please actually make sure that you have enough amount of a RAM to execute the applications. And Java development kit, relevant version of course, but at least 7. You need to ensure that at least Java 7 is there. If necessary, then initially go to the site java.com to install latest Java updates to prepare for the Android installation. Hard disk space 1 GB is enough. You can take a break in between. I'll continue my session. You can actually check that whether you do have these resources which I talked about in my previous slide or not, and if not, then you can actually make your system ready for next step, and then you can join back the video. My next step which I would recommend is download and install the Android Studio integrated development environment. To do it, let me showcase where to go, how to download, and so on. Follow me. you will have to open any browser which you do have in your system. Then you can write down Android Studio. Click on the link. The very first link would be actually download now. You can see the screen. In the left side, you can see the option download Android Studio Flamingo. Flamingo is the latest version of Android Studio. I'll be talking about versions after a few minutes or so. But then you need to click on this. Once you click on this, there would be terms and conditions seen on the screen. You can read them once. Then actually click on I have read and agree with above terms and conditions, and then click on download Android Studio. Once you actually click on this, you will be finding that installation has the downloading of exe file has started. Let it actually get downloaded. Once it gets downloaded, you can go to your downloads folder wherever this exe file is available. Double click on it, and then your installation would start. Your next step includes, I'll showcase you some of the screens which I captured while I was installing. You will be getting such kind of a welcome screen. Then you will be asked that what kind of installation you do require, and you should go with a standard one. Click on the next, and then you will be asked to select one of the themes, either this Darkula theme or a light theme. I do prefer light theme. You may prefer Darkula. It's your choice, but then later on also you can change the theme if required. Click on the next, and this screen I have specially captured to showcase you. This would be seen, this values would also be seen when you download, but the values which are available here would be different because it will be pertaining to your machine. But I would suggest or recommend you that you copy and store it in one notepad file. So because this information is very much helpful when we try to debug or we try to resolve the issues of our own system. So in my case, set up a standard SDK folder as users, SAJ, app data, local, Android, and SDK. So you should be aware of where your SDK is being installed. And my JDK location, which the SDK has picked up is C program files, Android Studio, and then actually JPR file. Gradle, I'll tell you later on what Gradle is. Don't get confused right now. But it would be using Java_home if anybody has worked on Java, and I would actually recommend that you should go with basics of Java before actually you pursue this course. Although I'll be discussing certain things within the course itself, but it is always helpful if you know Java prior. So Java_home is an environment variable which actually consists of a location where jar files are, where basically your JRE is installed. So it would be taken by Gradle automatically, and total download size in my case is 1.85 GB, and nearly same would be in your case as well. Once installation is being done, you will be able to see, just follow what the steps which I am doing. You will be able to type Android, and you will be able to see that Android Studio is installed in your system. Click on Android Studio. These softwares take little bit of time to get loaded, so please don't be panic. I've been working on certain projects, so for me actually maybe starting screen is different. For you it might be different, but then you can click on new, and then you can say new project. If any tip is being available, you can close that tip as of now because it would be really confusing for you at this stage, and then click on new project. Once you click on a new project, you will be able to see a 2-frame window where in left side you will see options like phone and tablet, wearable OS, Android TV, and automotive. The same Android Studio development kit can be utilized to develop applications for phone and tablets, which we would be studying. Also wearable operating wearable devices like actually smartwatches, Android TV. There are a lot of applications nowadays which are designed specifically for televisions and automotive. Nowadays in car and all, you can see small screens in the front which allows you to operate many applications which are helpful while driving. You'll be able to see a lot of options in the right side. First one is no activity, second one is empty activity, third one is basic views activity, fourth one is bottom navigation views activity, fifth one is empty views activity, sixth one is navigation drawer views activity, seventh one is responsive views activity, then game activity, then native C++ activity. And you all can see that this screen or this activities look like the screen of a your mobile application, and that is what it is all about. Our application or mobile application or Android application is collection of activities. So we need to actually right now click here, click on empty activity. Then you can see that after clicking on the empty activity, you again have certain inputs which are required from your side. Just understand these inputs very carefully. The first one, the first input which is expected from you is the name of the application. I am naming this application as Hello World, and what I would recommend is, in your case also, whatever I'm doing in my video, you should follow it as it is while experimenting for the first time, and then you can actually restart your Android Studio and you can again develop a new project where you are following the same step but different values. The second option which is input which is required from you is the name of the package. Now here is where certain concepts do lie. Name of the package actually is, if you can see, it looks like a reverse of some website address. Name of the package has to be unique if you aim to upload this on a Play Store. So normally what is being done is, name of the websites are always unique. So if I do have a website called a www.abc.com, what would be done is my application would would be there in a package called com.abc. Then what happens in that case is, anyway even hello world duplicate might exist, but com.abc is already unique because it is a registered domain name and there cannot be a duplicate domain names available. So in that case, we would be ensured enough that yes, the package name which we have utilized or when we go to upload it, the application on a Play Store, there would be no duplicate application existing. In this case, I am going with the default com.example.helloworld. Hello World is actually the name of the application which we have coined down here over here. If I change this name of the application as Sonal, the name of my package would be com.example.sonal. So let us actually change it back to Hello World. Third important thing to view is where this project would be saved. So in my case, save location is D, Android projects to 2023 and Hello World. You can change this location. There is a browse folder over here. You click on this and you will be able to see the flow of your system with all drives and in inner folders. You can create a new folder. The way I have created Android projects 2023, you can utilize the buttons which are available here. I hope you are able to see the cursor which I am moving on, and here there is an option of a new folder. So as soon as you create a new directory, there would be new directory created over here and you can select that directory to store your projects. But make sure that you go systematic way. Otherwise it would be chaos, and by default location would be somewhere in a system drive, that is a C drive, and if actually something by chance happens to your C drive, you will be losing all your projects. Now another important thing is minimum SDK. Minimum SDK is actually basically it is a collection of APIs. If you click on this, you will be able to see lot of APIs, list of APIs over here. And every API has one more name associated along with it, and in bracket if you can see there are names like lollipop, marshmallow, nuggets, Oreo, pie, and so on. I'll talk about this name when I'll be talking about versions. But the beauty of this APIs is you click on this and there is a information down which says that your app will run on approximately 99.5% of devices. You change this, let me click marshmallow, and it says me that your app will run on approximately 97.7% of devices. Let us see something else. So API 33, Android 13, tiramisu, and what I am able to see is the app which I design, if I design using this API, would be running or would be capable of executing or facilitating on approximately only 15% of the devices which exist in the market today. This says that we should be actually making an optimum choice. Google keeps on announcing new APIs which has lot many features which are actually demand driven, market driven. But when we are starting to develop a new application and our market base is, if you want to make a broad market base, then you should wisely choose something, some APIs wherein it allows more than like 95, 96 or 97. I am going to prefer API 21, Android 5, Lollipop, or maybe actually Marshmallow, which supports 97.7% of devices. Later on, actually, we can upgrade our projects also, but this to start with, you should be cautious enough. Click on finish, and you need to have patience here. Don't just assume that there was a boom kind of, and once you actually click finish you will be able to see a new project on your screen. Just have patience, because Android Studio takes time to open a new project and debug your project, so please wait for a second.